Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome back to the savage era of that WWE, that pro wrestling baby, the Royal Rumble. You know what? Here's a spoiler alert for this thing we're about to do. It has been a very long while since I've walked away from something WWE produced and looked at myself and was like, and just thought, yeah, that's sensible booking. Yes, that's sensible booking. Do the thing that makes sense, because you normally don't. This wrestling pay-per-view was full of that, but the things they did do, which led to me doing this and being like, yo, stroking my beard of the, yeah, sensible booking shit. Yes, that. Look, we ain't gonna be here long, because the majority of this pay-per-view ain't really nothing to really talk about. Like, seriously, like, no, like, you really believe, like, we really legitimately got some shit to talk about? Like, real no bullshit? Look, we are talking about a pay-per-view that had a kickoff show that had one half of ALP and one half of my favorite tag team on the same team, whooping each other ass so Bobby Roode and Chad Gable can just still walk around and be the Raw Tag Team Champions, because no one cares about that fucking belt anyway, so it's just kind of like, well, what the fuck ever. It's good to say that while Uncle Donald wants to build a wall, the United States of Nakamura is back on top now. I'm like, given this match became a lot more important than it had any business doing, and it had nothing to do with either competitor in the actual match. The match was, but more on what this means later. In other news, Buddy Murphy is still the Cruiserweight Champion. Who watches 205 Live again? Not this guy. Don't. Not saying that ain't nothing wrong with what they do, and that weird Mustafa Ali push is still, quote-unquote, technically happening, but, you know, wrestling and stuff. I'm like, it's good to see Hideo Itami, like, you know, actually motherfucking wrestle, but that's all I got for you. That's all I got, because I have nothing. Something you never mind. Look, let's get to the actual pay-per-view. The most important match on this card right here happens right up at the gate. Asuka and Becky went out there and murdered each other. Okay, went out there straight murder spree. Like, you want a good wrestling match? You watch this match. The thing is that walking into this match, like, trying to, like, figure out, because around this time, you know what I'm saying, just spoiler alerts for what the next couple of these are going to be, is that I'm looking for what is supposed to be, like, course correction, because we are starting our road to WrestleMania, and usually course corrections can happen right here. That the Royal Rumble match itself, the match is also on the card, that anything can happen and can set in motion, like, what the ultimate goal is for trying to book this product. Let me get back. Let me get in frame a little bit. Let me get in frame. Let me get groove. Okay, I'm good. Okay. Now I'm in frame a little bit. I feel a little bit better, right? So, as I was saying, a lot of what these topics and conversation are going to be is about me trying to analyze the booking of this thing that I watch and try to figure out, like, yo, where's Swerve at? Like, where is it turning? Here is your first turn. In this murder spree between Asuka and Becky Lynch, Asuka is still the SmackDown Women's Champion. Here's the thing. I may have gotten on this video during that Savage Era video and got on her and said, and I semi-possibly quote myself, that Asuka's a transitional champion. That no matter what you do, that my bae Asuka ain't as important as she should be as the Women's Champion of SmackDown. Given the results later in this pay-per-view, it's kind of sort of looking that way. But we'll see. But given also what happened and what it was, I think I'm starting to see that form a little bit. But we'll get more into that later, though. You know what I'm saying? Okay. How do I broach this subject with you? When a grown man gets on TV and said, my daddy's not proud of me, but he loves Shane McMahon, I'm just like, the fuck? Like, that whole thing, I'm not saying it was cringy or it was weird, but That's a strange place to take a storyline. My daddy ain't proud of me. My actual real life. Oh, but wait, never. You know what? Back up. Never mind. This is the Savage era. That's completely on the table. But then you think about the other times. A Dominic on a pole match. Because, you know, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio or whatever. I'm turning on a fan. It's hot. Look. This ain't the first time a professional wrestler's real life parent or parents have been involved in a storyline one way or the other. I just think that this was just kind of odd of you trying to build this Miz Shane McMahon thing, because in my world of fantasy booking, I had other plans. At this point, The Miz was supposed to be World Heavyweight Champion. On our way to him getting his ass whooped by Daniel Bryan. That was what I thought. No. We're going to talk about the boy Daniel Bryan later because I got plenty to say. But given Shane, I know, sell everything in real life, McMahon did a fucking shooting star press, and I'm like, what? I rewound that shit like 20 times. Like, the fuck? Like, Shane did a shooting star press. I'm like, damn. I'm like, that boy, Shane McMahon, 49 years old, and hitting shooting star presses on me. And I'm just like, man, look. My thing is that the match was alright. The finish, yeah. I'm just confused. I'm like, and it's like, and the thing is, for real shit, it's okay for me to be confused at this booking because I just am. I'm just gonna admit that live. That's why I'm here. I'm here to get that off my chest. I am confused at why Miz and Shane are now the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Like, I remember. Okay, how do I respectfully say this? When I was a little more invested in this division, you know, when the Usos and the New Day was running and doing work every week, I'm like, you know what? Let's be for real. Spoiler alerts for later. The Bludgeon Brothers just kind of took this to the division and just blew. I thought thought that boy Young Shelton and you know, one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, that boy not Kurt Angle's son. Not Kurt Angle's son. Okay, whatever. Look, I thought they was gonna do something. That got old real quick, and then, you know, then they tried to flip their script, and then no one was feeling that shit. But I'm like, maybe Miz and Shane being champions will get me semi-involved back into actually paying attention to this division. Maybe we'll see. And you already knew that Sasha Banks tapped out to Ronda Rousey. Now, given that, it was a great match between a great wrestler and Ronda Rousey. Because Ronda is still working out the kinks, but she's getting better in every single match she's in. But that's what you're supposed to see, improvement. And if you got somebody like the boss in the ring with you, you ain't got no choice but to shine. I'm like, they sat up here. It's like, the thing that I do appreciate that while the build was quick, I appreciate how involved the build got. And it got quick. Said that 3 times in a row, so you owe me a cookie. So, given that, I appreciate all that. I'm like, I even appreciate that, you know, they shook hands, people walked back and forth to the ring 50 times, 4 horsewomen and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, they really finna do something like that at WrestleMania? I highly doubt it. Given what I think gonna happen, and we gonna discuss that a bit later, but it was a great match overall. I appreciate it. It was good to see Sasha competing for a title for a change instead of that weird not lesbian storyline she got with Bayley, which makes no sense to me still. But maybe at the Elimination Chamber they become tag team champions or something, because, you know, that's a thing that's also happening. But we'll discuss that when it's time. The Women's Royal Rumble. Not much happened in it. No surprise entrance. No weird things happening. Well, until we remembered there's a thing called a kickoff show, and we remember that Lana got knocked off of the ring apron by one United States of Nakamura, because, you know, fuck you Hiroshima, bitch, or whatever, right? Remember that. So Lana comes out there and she limping to the ring and shit, like, I can't compete. Here come Becky Lynch. I just been in a war with Asuka and shit. Like, yo, Finley, yo, you remember the cat? Let me in this match, cuz. And they arguing back and forth, and she gets in the match and then wins the Royal Rumble. This is before Naomi did a weird spot at some point that's semi-unimportant. That, you know, they're really trying to get into this Mandy Rose thing with her, which is also unimportant. Because when I sit up here and think about the match itself, the only thing I really see that they might be able to do something with is maybe you may get Thicky Miss Bliss and that girl Ember Moon on some beef. Maybe. We'll see, because a lot of that is going to be determined Tuesday on SmackDown Live, unless what I think is going to happen tonight is that the man is going to walk out on Monday Night Raw and be like, yo, I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to break Ronda Rousey's arm and make that bitch humble. The man. That's what I think going to happen. Becky Lynch going to walk out on Raw, opening Raw, out there. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be interesting with some other things that we're going to talk about, because it's interesting. I will say this, though. In the sense of what you're trying to do, if this would have ended any other way, I might have a problem with it. It's like the lead up to the finish was Becky and Charlotte killed it. Like, that ending sequence was nothing but pure murder. Pure murder. Becky didn't hurt herself. She limping in the ring. I can go. And I'm just sitting up here like, yeah, they set this up. They set this up for Becky to win. But it's like, ain't nobody had a better year in professional wrestling that's not Becky Lynch, okay? Like, I can name 2, 3, 4 of the wrestlers who may have had a year, but Becky broke out. And it's like, it's like I said, if this would have ended any other way other than Becky Lynch winning the Women's Royal Rumble and going to headline WrestleMania, this could have been a problem. But then this leaves Charlotte, right? Charlotte may, because of what I think gonna happen on Raw tonight, she may get in the mix. And they're going to probably try to do some tournament or something to figure out who will face Asuka, because I don't think Becky Lynch going to waste it on Asuka. And given what I've heard about one Ronda Rousey, that, you know, rumor is that she leaving after her contract up and things like that, which would be this WrestleMania technically. So it makes a lot of sense for Becky Lynch to transition as champion. Then you got the tag team belts, and all the women got something to do, and you got the Raw and the SmackDown Women's Champion, whoever that may be at that time. It's kind of dope. But I will say, like I said, the match was middling. The end was okay. But we haven't heard the last of women in a Royal Rumble. Just spoiling that for you. But congrats to Becky Lynch. It's like, booking aside, she earned to be booked at booked as the winner of this match. Oh, and while I'm thinking about this, because it just popped in my head, Zelina Vega dressed up like Vega. So it's like, well, we know Jamie Lee Curtis did it first, but Zelina Vega came out as Vega. Vega wins or something. Perfect. Or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's it. I was trying to figure out was it anything else, because it's like you had Naomi with a spot, you had Casey Casanaro with a spot, and I'm just like, this stuff's starting to get old. And like when Kofi did it, it was like, yo, what Kofi gonna do? He ain't gonna never win the Rumble, but he done won more titles than anybody else. Now just Naomi doing it every year. Now they got American Ninja Warriors girl doing it. It's kind of like, okay, whatever. Anywho, oh boy, I just need a second. I want to talk about this. Let me get a little bit in the frame. I want to rap with y'all about this one here. Remember we talked about earlier what I thought WrestleMania was gonna shape up to be 6, 7 months ago, when I thought the Miz may have won it off of AJ, and AJ would have went and done AJ things, and Miz would have been the champion, and Daniel Bryan would have won it from him at WrestleMania. New super vegan woke Daniel Bryan, who gives a fuck about the earth, is some of the best stuff in professional wrestling. I can't deny it. I can't deny that that's nothing but pure work. Like, Daniel Bryan is killing it right now, like literally and physically killing it. Given that AJ Styles has been pushed to this violent crescendo where you knock out Vinnie McDiesel, the genetic jackhammer, just cause one of them, you know what I'm saying? Just like straight up, just one of them, like knock him out, right? You know, I appreciate that it was coming like that. The match was okay. The Rowan shit was not. The end. Should I say something else? Match was this. The Rowan shit did this to it, and Jimmy cracked corn. No one actually cared. The end. I have questions. I do. I have questions. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I'm sitting here and watching Raw, chilling, you know what I'm saying? Got my water. I'm using it as an excuse for a water break, so let me do this. It's good. So good. Gotta love some good water. Gotta love some good water. Look, a couple of weeks ago, you couldn't have told me that Finn Balor, leader of the Balor Club, was going to be fighting Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. You couldn't have told me that. I wouldn't believe you, because when I was looking at Finn's spot on the roster, he middling in the main event and near it sometimes, but not finna be in a match on pay-per-view. No. Braun Strowman, turn over Vinnie McDiesel's limo and gets eliminated from the match, which leaves it open for Finn Balor to come in and be in this match. At this juncture, here's what I understand. Braun Strowman will never be champion ever. Like, ever, like Outcast, forever, never, forever will he be a champion in the WWE. Like, the best you ever gonna do, bro, is winning the tag team titles with some 10-year-old. And that's sad. Like, for real. Like, I don't think they ever gonna put the big boy belt on him. Because the thing is that I've said this before, and even given this, because I gotta get a little comfortable as I say this, is because I'm gonna lean back on y'all. I'm gonna lean back. I'm gonna look comfortable. Get a little comfortable. I'm gonna say this, like on some rap shit, for real. Braun Strowman is similar in that mode of when Enzo, before he got the Cruiserweight champion, because the way they were booking Enzo, because him and Big Ass, they never won the tag team titles, nothing. I kind of figured he'd always just be a guy that's around, talk the shit, you know what I'm saying, talking smack or whatever, and just be a dude who sold merch, because money is money and that's what matters, and that you never get a championship. He got the Cruiserweight title and the Cruiserweight Championship for the second that he held it, had some prestige, not because he was holding it, but because somebody was actually paying attention that, oh shit, there's a Cruiserweight division. This is different. As in, Brock Lesnar just wrestles whenever the fuck he feels like being booked in a match so he can murder the person he's fighting until he's ready to give up the title, go home, fuck his wife, and milk his cows. Because that's just what Brock Lesnar do. Here's the other thing, though. As quick as they put this together, the build was excellent. The build was excellent because they sat up here, they flipped on David on Goliath, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Finn Balor is this and Brock Lesnar is that, whatever. But the thing is, the match matched the build. The build was hype. The match matched the build, because a lot of times, when they hype up, when Paul Heyman do what Paul Heyman do, and they hype up a match, a lot of times You already know Brock Lesnar finna go rob, steal, rape, and kill somebody in that ring because that's what he does, and it usually don't live up to the hype. This lived up to the hype, and even though Brock Lesnar beat Finn Balor because you knew that was going to happen because of what we're about to talk about, it was a great match, and Brock Lesnar get in the ring a lot, and his matches be okay, but that depends on who he with. It's just that Finn Balor is just an excellent professional wrestler, and that helps when you have somebody like Brock Lesnar who wants to rob, steal, rape, and kill you. So it works, and all I can do is applaud that it works and that it works properly. So here's the question. When it comes to this immediate course correction, given that we still got to talk about the Men's Royal Rumble, is what's going to happen to the Universal Championship. I got a feeling. Because given that we in this new technical savage era, quote unquote, if that's the thing that makes sense. But even if that's the case, and we'll get into that in a moment, what does that mean for after WrestleMania? But we'll get to that in a minute. That minute is right now. Jeff Jarrett, yeah, that was a thing. Kofi doing Kofi stuff with Xavier Woods' help, that was a thing. Here is the key to this match. The Intercontinental Champion, Bobby Lashley, along with Leo Rush, his buddy. Bobby Lashley put some dude named Seth Rollins, Kingslayer, through a table. I don't know what commentary team was sitting at that table, but Seth Rollins went through a table and sold it for like 20 something fucking minutes. Then the match ends the way you think it does. Not that there's anything wrong with that. The thing is, even though the match ended the way you thought it would, I'm going to say this now. Blessed be to Nia Jax. Not only is she thick, super cute, hot, sexy, and fine, but she inserted herself into the Women's Royal Rumble and got RKO'd. Like, I appreciate that. Like, you know, like, this ain't the first time a woman done been in the Men's Royal Rumble. This not the first time for that. There's been plenty of women who have gone there, done their thing, you know, for whatever reason. But I appreciate Nia Jax, like giving Nia Jax that opportunity to go out there and do that. I appreciate that. No bullshit. I appreciate that. At the end of the day, Seth Rollins won the Royal Rumble. And that is what you needed to happen. I talked about earlier, the man, Becky Lynch, had a hell of a year. Equally so, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins goes out every week on Raw and that boy clowns. Burn it down! All that old good shit. So, this is your champion after WrestleMania. Curb stomp. For reals. For reals, no plays, no insert yourself into the match. Because a big part of the build when it gets time after we settle Elimination Chamber and Fastlane and whatever random pay-per-view they want to throw in here for whatever reason, is a big part of it is going to be how technically he never beat Brock to win the title. That's going to be a big part of the push and build. That's going to be a big part of it. But Seth's going to beat him. So now that we know that this is in place, because this is the one thing I'm like, I am 99.99999% sure that Seth Rollins going to beat him. Unless they do a swerve like they did last year when Roman Reigns was in there and we thought he was going to win because Brock Lesnar like, I'm going home to go fuck my wife and milk a cow. And he's like, man, I'm just going to take the other payday. So now I'm just going to rob, steal, rape, and kill you because, you know, that's just how this show is booked. So this will be interesting. Other than that, it's like the Royal Rumble for the men was too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got your little things here and there. You trying to build stuff like Dolph Ziggler got his revenge on Drew McIntyre. Why are they calling him just Andrade now? I'm just like, fucking questions. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know why the hell do WWE do that shit. The man's name is Andrade Cien Almas. You like, do you just people just not like feel like saying his whole name? Just call it. Just call it. I don't know. You know what? I don't know what they do. I'm like, I don't get this. Like, they finna start calling Apollo Crews Apollo in a minute. Like, but they probably can't do that because it's probably super fucking illegal. They probably can't trademark that. So it just, they gonna call him Apollo Crews. They just can't call him Apollo. So I don't get that either. And you know, and given what the name Apollo Crews means, is they probably won't fully get rid of it because just to be respectable. There is one other thing I do want to speak on. Given this, right? Where does AEW fit in all this? You might be like, trip for real? Like, yeah, it's worth asking the question, at least put it out there and get your thinking caps rolling about what is this road to WrestleMania going to be? Because of, you got people thinking that the grass is green on the other side. You probably gonna have people jumping ship, leaving. I'm like, weird things that I think about this now. A lot of what they were trying to do by teasing all these NXT call-ups. The only person I didn't really saw fucking do something was Nikki Cross. Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans, she was number 1 in the Women's Royal Rumble. Nikki Cross, she was in the Rumble, but she been doing a whole bunch of dark matches. I ain't seen EC3. Lars Sullivan, he at home taking a nap or some shit. Heavy Machinery, they was around for like 2 seconds or something, and it was somebody else, and it's just like, well, your name escapes me, so you probably weren't that important any damn way. When Velveteen Dream win, right? The only thing I care about, do whatever you gonna do. Like, I'm interested. Like, if we gonna talk NXT real quick, I'm interested to see what's up with Gargano and my boy Ciampa. That's what, you know, man. I'm Black Ciampa now. That's my name now. I'm Triple the God always, but I think I'm gonna rename my Twitter handle Black Ciampa. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm the NXT champion too, bitch. What up? So I'm trying to see what's up with that. They got that 6-man. They got that 6-man at halftime, and I'm like, and I figured that if you put on anybody, you put on the 6-man with the NXT boys. You know what I'm saying? They'll put in some work. Trust. Overall, great Royal Rumble. You know what I'm saying? It's a great Royal Rumble simply because some of what WWE may be doing on this road to WrestleMania seems a bit clear. The only thing that I think is 99.99999% sure is Seth Rollins beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Unless course correction happens between now and then, and I don't think it is, because I don't think you're going to course correct Brock Lesnar. He going to walk into WrestleMania the champion. I don't think Brock Lesnar finna wrestle for the next 2-3 months if it's up to Brock Lesnar. It'll be interesting to see what the man does. I'm like, I got my number. Becky Lynch walking out on Raw, her and Seth gonna be in the ring, and they gonna have an argument about the man, and they don't, and she gonna be like, I'm gonna fight Ronda Rousey, and you know Seth gonna fight Brock, so you already know what it's gonna be. Anything else that happened is a bonus, and it'll be interesting, like I say, to really see these builds as we get on the road to WrestleMania. So that is indeed that. I'm the one and the only, the Triple, the G.O.D. Bring you all that pro wrestling news that you need about the WWE. You know what it is. So, I just asked you nicely that you sit back, relax, and stay tuned. Like I said, I'm the one and the only Triple, the G.O.D. You're live with me right here on Team GRF TV. And we'll have more show for you. Bang! And we'll have it right after these commercial messages. Seriously though, for real talk, I'm gonna say this. I am really excited about professional wrestling. I'm really excited about professional wrestling in general, I always am, but what the WWE trying to do, I'm a little more interested now, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably finna go watch some real shit, but regardless of that, more show after these commercial messages.